Kankoje from Pune, working in the energy field from last 30-35 years into the many projects in wind energy and solar energy. So last around 7-8 years, I started training, corporate training and advisory and consultancy in the same field, energy, and then I did some certifications on emotional intelligence at workplace from Berkeley University. I did some Mind Training Institute USA certification, and then I'm also a certified coach by ICF. So I'm working as life and business transformation coach, helping many MSME owners and some corporates for coaching. And last year I got introduced to this Buddha CEO activities. One of my friend has done that, and then I started doing it. I did 40 days of coherence, and then now there was some advertisement regarding the associate course. So I said, let us go ahead for the certification also. So that is why I came into this associate coach certification course. So
You're
last
already a coach. You're just looking for a formal.
adding another dimensions to this.
True, very
So
true.
because I'm doing meditation and other things by some other methods which I have earlier studied, but then if this can be done, then probably whichever comes to my mind on that day of coaching, will I start it, or I may combine the two. Let us see how it goes, because I totally believe that there is some energy available. We are all one, and everything is one, something like that. So universe will take us through. So that's how it is coming to me. So I have prepared the presentation on the topic, the book which discuss on the four agreements.
True.
So I just go through that. You can keep the time because I can go on. Speaking is my passion, so I can go on. Just remind me, because then I'm fond of telling stories. So maybe I'll keep the story at the end so that we can keep the time. If there is a time, I'll share it. So just tell me if the screen is changing.
It is, yeah, it is
Yeah, yeah.
just.
So it is about a book by Don Ruiz. The title is The Four Elements, and it is a practical guide to personal freedom. It's very nicely mentioned in that. The intent of the book is to help readers explore freedom, happiness, and love. The central point is that a person's life is determined by agreement they have made with themselves, others, God, and the society as a whole. So whatever we are doing, our activity, the work, or the way we behave in society or in the family or anyone, it basically our own self. First, we have our own dialogue with our own self, and then we have dialogue with somebody else. So, if you are aware about some Hindu scriptures or mythological element, there are also mentioned in that we are Shrota and Vakta at the same time. So we are listening sometime and we are telling sometimes. So this is basically the self dialogue and how to improve that self dialogue and dialogue with others. That exactly is coming into that because we have unconsciously the agreement when we are talking or exchanging thoughts with each other. So the lesson to promote freedom from self-limiting thoughts that cause people unnecessary fear and frustration. So most of the time we have that fear while talking to somebody else, or have some perception while starting a dialogue or presenting ourselves. So Ruiz focuses on some from the teachings to help people overcome their issues and understand those around them in a better manner. So it's a quote which I have mentioned here by Don Ruiz. Just being ourselves is the biggest fear we have as humans, and we end up feeling unauthentic because we try to put on a mask, so afraid that someone will realize we are not what we pretend to be. So this quote explains everything what we are doing, because most of the time we are having that mask on our face or on our behavior, and we are having dialogue with others or anybody. We are having negotiations or transactions. So according to Ruiz, the power of words can set us free and allow us to express ourselves. It enables us to build deeper bonds with people. However, it also has a darker side to it. When we are careless with our words, we can cause irreparable harm to the relationship we have. Many of us have experienced that unknowingly some words come out of our mouth, and then we repent it later कि ये मैंने नहीं बोलना चाहिए था, something like that, and then it's irreparable because the other person has already got the word heard by him or her, and then it we carry that memory that this person has talked to me in this manner, so I'm not going to hear to him further. So the first agreement, what they have mentioned, 4 agreements. The first agreement is be impeccable with your words. So be impeccable with your word. Speak with integrity. So whenever we are talking, speak with integrity. Say only what you mean, not superficially talking that without having that integrity in self. Use the power of your word in the direction of truth and love. So if you have this basic characteristics while transacting, I think then the word should be proper all the time. If you have truth and love being transacted or being exchanged with others. Being impeccable with our words means taking responsibility for what you say and do. It also means not being judgmental about yourself and those around you. So I've taken out some clips from wherever possible, and some of my own thoughts I have added. The agreement stresses the importance of thinking things through before saying them. What you dream, what you feel, and what you really are will be all manifested through the word. Our word is most powerful tool. So that goes with the agreement that whenever you are using your words, be careful about that. And impeccable means without any sin, that we don't have to repent it at the later. So the impeccable word is coming from a Latin word which means sin, and impeccable means without sin. That if you don't have to have that later repenting on that what we have said. So going further, impeccability means taking responsibility what your actions without judgment. And when we hear an opinion or agree to believe it, it becomes a part of our belief system. So most of the thoughts or most of the dialogues or the words we choose are coming from belief, what we have already made about somebody or the situation or the way we wanted to interact with that person or the mob or in the office or subordinate or the boss or anyone. We have made our own belief because of our experiences, and then that belief help us or made us to choose certain words. Sometimes we are also saying words, or sometimes we are using the body language to help them understand what we actually want to say without saying a word. So that belief system, once it is there, I think sometimes the facts and beliefs are not same. So sometimes the words are not matching with the fact, and that is how the conflict starts. So as Ruiz puts it, how much you love yourself and how you feel about yourself are directly proportionate to the quality and integrity of your word. When you are impeccable with your word, you feel good, you feel happy and at peace. So having the truth and love in our word and having the integrity in the words definitely will make us happy and at peace. When normally it's said that if you talk truth, you don't have to remember it, because it's the truth always, the truth all the time. So if you are telling something wrong thing, then we have to remember it, that whatever we have told last time, the same thing has to be continued next time. So that's the first agreement, be impeccable with your word. The second agreement is don't take anything personally. So it's a very good learning. So immune to the opinion and action of others. Normally, whatever is said by others or whatever their behavior, we take it personally. That is, whenever they are talking, even they are talking without you as a subject, but we think that they are talking about ourselves. And then believing people who say negative things opens up to being victimized. Even if they are not talking, we sometimes say that we are being victimized. And taking things personally leads to defensiveness, conflicts, and making others wrong so that you can be right. So making our point right, we have sometimes have this belief or this agreement is very important, that not to take anything personally and to keep it uh, as self as a separate entity when we are talking or negotiating or discussing with others. So taking things personally is a direct consequence of what Ruiz defines as our domestication. We can understand the domestication process as what our education teaches us about social norms. So accordingly, we take the stance while talking to others. So Ruiz warns again this perils of thinking this way. Personal importance or taking things personally is the maximum expression of selfishness, because we make the assumptions what everything is about me. So always thinking that the others are always thinking about myself, make me some defensive or aggressive or take me into the conflict mode, because I presume that they are talking about me, and then I take it very personally. So it makes me in already judgmental mode that I should be talking to them in this manner. So we have to have this agreement. Number two, don't take anything personally. Agreement number three is about don't make assumptions. So it is in continuation of that. We assume certain things, communicate with clearly with others to avoid misunderstanding without any assumptions. So the solution to this is ask questions so that we get more clarity without assuming that they are mean saying that. Without they saying, we started assuming that they must be thinking in that manner, and then we start assuming that this means what, and we take it our own assumption forward, and then let start dialogue with them. So don't make assumption. I think this is the best agreement we can have. In continuation to that, instead of making assumption, ask the other person. Knowing the truth will free you from conflict generated by false belief. So if we start discussing openly, I think we can get the fact, and then it will avoid further conflicts and further misunderstanding going forward. So the next agreement, the last agreement is always do your best. So our best something is very relative. It can depend on things like our mood or how tired we are. However, we should always strive to put efforts into everything we do. So irrespective of what others are thinking about us or my own movement or my situation or my dialogue or my understanding. So if I try to put always the best of me, 100% whatever I can do, then I think it can relieve me from other further implications. So doing your best means taking action instead of expecting things to happen to you. It also means enjoying what you do and the process behind it. So that's a very powerful statements mentioned in this book, which I have captured to make the things more clear. So when you do your best, you always free yourself of a heavy inner burden, and you have no dilemmas about what you could have been and hold no regrets. According to Ruiz, this is extremely important for overcoming the failure. So as long as you put an honest effort into life, if you do your best in each moment, you will have nothing to be ashamed of. You won't find yourself dwelling on past mistakes or questions your own judgment. So which makes our life more easier and happier when you have this agreement that we are putting 100% of whatever I have to do. So before going into the summary, I have time so I can have the story, which I think it can explain all those four agreements. It's a true story which I normally take in my session. It's happened with one of the person on a Friday evening, and he was working in cold storage, and he happened to get caught into that cold storage in the evening of Friday. And on Friday evening, when the office got over or the factory got over, everybody locked the office or the premises and went away, and he find himself stuck into that cold storage. And the cold storage, you know that it's a chilling temperature there, and he's when he got stuck into that. Now remember all the four agreements what we have. So the self dialogue which you started first. So after some time he said, I think now only thing which I can expect is Monday morning, because Saturday, Sunday is a holiday, and then this is very chilling temperature here. The cold storage has got everything there, the food, the water, or whatever other normal requirements are all there. But then the words started coming to him, or he started talking to himself, that the temperature is increasing, I am feeling very cold, I think I will die now, nobody can help me out. So when Monday morning people came to and find out and open that cold storage, they found him dead. And then they look around, they saw on the walls of the cold storage, he has written various statements. First, he started with, I am feeling very cold. I think the temperature is dropping, is below zero. My hands and feet are getting numb. I'm not able to move them. I think my blood will get frozen, and I think I will not be able to move from here. I think now I'm feeling that I'll not be able to think anything because my brain will also become chilly and cold, and it will get freeze. The entire my body or limbs getting frozen. So many statements are written there on the wall. And then finally, the last statement says, now I think I'll not be able to survive and I'll be definitely dead. And they found him dead. And when they investigated, they found that the chiller was not working. It was a normal temperature there. And everything was available in there. The food was available, the water was available, the temperature, the lights, everything was there. He would have definitely survived if he looked around. But the self-dialogue has made him lose his life. That is why all those agreements were talking to him, assumption. And last agreement to do your best because he has not tried his best. What can be the way out? And the similar story or the similar other side of the story is about Viktor Frankl, who is the only survival from a Nazi concentration camp. If you have heard about him earlier, he was the only person who got survived from Nazi concentration camp. And he has famously said that if the situation you cannot change, then you have to accept the situation and find out a way how can you come out of that situation. And he is the only person who survived, putting his positive mindset all the time that I am definitely going to walk out from here, come what may. And he was every day giving suggestions to himself. And he was doing all the possible things in his own life or his own mind. That doesn't matter. I got stuck up here, but I'm going to survive. I'm going to go out on my own legs. I'll be perfectly fine. I don't have any problem. My entire body will be healthy. And he finally came out and he wrote a book on that experience on Nazi concentration camp. So even the 4 agreement there has worked in his own favor. And normally, when I come to summary, because all those 2 stories, we have 4 agreements, how it can work in our favor or work against us. So we all are wired to jump to conclusions without having all the information or use our imagination to fill in the gaps when you have limited information. So that's a assumption we have. So we also tend to believe our own views first and stick to them for long term once they are set. This can cause us to have pent up emotions for no good reason, like resentment or something someone did without the intent you thought they already had, or avoid discussing a topic what would not have been as big a deal or as big a deal as you thought it was. So rather than jump to conclusion, we should be communicating more transparently. We should also express our wishes and intentions as clearly as possible. This can go a long way towards preventing conflicts, miscommunication, and a long-term frustration. So the conclusion with the 4 agreements and the 4 quotes about life, Ruiz teaches us how to foster new habits that will motivate people to act out of love and understanding. He understands that fear and resentment can only hold you back. As a leader, because we are working in corporate in different capacities, so as a leader, I think this habit will help us transform our organization, what we are representing to culture with a happiness, self-acceptance, and mutual appreciation as its foundation. So it helps us to create a genuine connection with our people and consistently be at our best. So if we try to implement all these 4 agreements in our day-to-day life, while talking to peers, while talking to our co-workers, or talking to society, or talking to family even, our own relatives. So if we try to apply this 4 agreement, I think our life will be more easier. And learning the techniques of mindful meditation will help you to achieve that. Because first we are emptying our mind, and then we can visualize the way we wanted to have this 4 agreement, remembering all those 4 agreements, and seeing that yes, whatever I'm doing, the ultimate aim is to have love and affection and the truth I'm talking. I will not assume anything before making a statement, or I'll be more consistently and more clear in my thoughts what I'm talking to. So following everyday mindful meditation, I think we will be able to get, because it's not very easy. Writing agreements is very easy, but then implementing it in our day-to-day life will not be so easy. Because when you are in that moment or in that heat of any discussion, or when you are talking to each other, you may not remember the agreement at the right time. And when the words are gone from your mouth, I think it will be very difficult. So I think mindful meditation will help you remember this agreement all the time. And then it can definitely take us to a favorable moment while talking to each other or while having dialogue, because most of the time it's a talker and the receiver, either both sides. We have to understand this agreement. When we are talking, we don't have to assume, and we have to also see that somebody else who is talking to us is not assuming about ourselves. So the roles are changing, but the agreement remains same, and we expect everyone to have this agreement. At least we start from ourselves. That if you have that agreement with ourselves, with the society, or with the everyone, I think then we can definitely improve our life, and meditation can help us do that. So thank you very much. That's about me. Stay safe and take care, and have this core agreement executed with within our life with each other, so that we have